Ever notice how we kind of just like take for granted the person who gets us into the event?
Hmm.
Like we're so excited about the concert, the game, the play, whatever it
Yeah,
is,
right.
but we don't really think about, the person behind the window with the tickets.
Yeah.
So today we are doing a deep dive into a role that we thought would be really interesting to learn more about,
Yeah.
the ticket issuing clerk.
Absolutely. And we found some really interesting stuff on RoleCatcher,
Oh,
this career development platform. They have a ton of information about all kinds of different roles. And we dug into ticket issuing clerk. And
so what does a ticket issuing clerk actually do?
right, because like you were saying, we kind of take them for granted. We think they just, sell tickets.
Right, exactly. Just hand them over.
But it's so much more than that.
Okay.
It really is. I mean, think about it. They're kind of like event concierges.
Event concierge. Okay. I like that.
Yeah.
Tell me more.
So let's say, for example, you're going to a concert
Okay.
and it's sold out, right? A really good ticket issuing clerk who knows what they're doing might suggest a lesser known band playing the same night,
Oh, interesting.
same genre, maybe even a better venue deal.
Wow.
And then all of a sudden you've got a whole new experience lined up just because of them.
That's so true.
Right.
And I've definitely had that experience of like asking about, aisle seats or if there are discounts.
Sure.
And they have to have so much information at their fingertips.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And they have to be able to navigate these complex ticketing systems,
Mhm.
Ticketmaster,
Oh, yeah.
all the different, rules and regulations and seating charts, and
Sometimes those seating charts are really confusing,
they can be very confusing.
especially at some of the older venues.
Right, exactly. And they also often use what's called CRM software,
CRM.
customer relationship management. It's how they keep track of, customer preferences.
Oh, interesting.
Past purchases, maybe you're a big fan of a certain band, and so they can kind of tailor the experience.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so it's a lot more than just meets the eye.
That is really interesting.
Yeah.
So they're kind of like part salesperson,
Mm-hmm.
part like tech whiz,
Right.
and also just like a walking encyclopedia of entertainment.
Exactly. They have to know their stuff.
And like what happens when they have like a really, really difficult customer?
Oh, yeah.
Because, not everybody's going to be like super excited and happy to be there.
Right. Dealing with the public can be tough.
Yeah.
There are going to be challenging personalities.
And you have to be like on all the time.
You have to keep it cool and professional no matter what.
So RoleCatcher mentions anything about like the not so glamorous parts?
Well, they do talk about how the work can get kind of repetitive, especially, when it's really busy,
Oh, yeah.
like during a huge concert tour or something.
Right.
You're doing the same transactions over and over.
And probably working some crazy hours too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Long hours, evenings, weekends, holidays.
That part doesn't sound so fun.
It's definitely a trade-off. But I mean, you're part of the excitement.
That's true.
You're helping people have a good time.
So, okay, let's say someone's listening and they're like, you know what? I think I'd be good at this.
Sure.
What would you say are the most important skills?
Definitely got to have excellent communication skills.
Okay.
Like you were saying, you have to know how to talk to all kinds of people, answer a million questions, and sometimes you got to de-escalate a situation.
So it's like customer service on another level.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And you also have to be super organized,
Yeah, makes sense.
especially when it's busy. Imagine juggling phone calls, online orders, people at the window. You got to be able to multitask like a pro.
And probably stay calm under pressure.
Absolutely. And one more thing, attention to detail.
Oh, yeah.
You cannot mess up a ticket order.
Oh, my gosh.
One wrong date, one wrong seat number, and it's a disaster.
And then you've got a very unhappy customer on your hands.
Exactly.
Right? Because you could really ruin somebody's, birthday or anniversary or something.
Exactly. One little mistake could throw everything off.
So besides like the people skills and the organization, what else did RoleCatcher say?
They actually emphasized how important it is for ticket issuing clerks to really know the events.
Really?
Like they need to be familiar with different venues, seating charts, all that stuff.
Well, it's more than just like processing a transaction.
Right. It's about providing good recommendations, being able to answer questions.
And like a concierge.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm seeing the connection there.
And then you're enhancing the whole experience for the customer.
That's cool. So they're kind of like experts in the entertainment world too.
Yeah, they have to stay up to date on what's happening, what's popular.
Arfet.
What's worth seeing.
Makes sense. So speaking of technology, RoleCatcher mentioned something about automation of the hiring process.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one these days. A lot of companies are using AI to screen resumes, even conduct interviews.
Wow. So how does that affect somebody who wants to be a ticket issuing clerk?
Well, it means you got to be tech savvy even from the get-go.
Right.
Make sure your resume has the right keywords, those kinds of things.
Because the computer's going to be looking at it first.
Exactly. But here's the thing. Even with all this automation, that human touch is still super important in this role.
Because people still want to talk to a real person.
Right. Think about it. You've gone through all these automated steps online. Maybe you've chatted with a bot, but then you finally get to interact with a real, live human being.
That makes it even more special.
Exactly. It's like that personal connection that's becoming rarer and rarer these days.
Yeah, that's a really good point. It's like we're craving that human interaction.
For sure. So yeah, ticket issuing clerk, it's a job that requires a lot more than you might think.
Yeah, definitely not what I expected when we started this deep dive.
Right. It's fascinating how much goes on behind the scenes.
Totally. And who knows what the future holds for these folks.
Right. With virtual events becoming more and more popular.
Yeah, I wonder if they'll be like selling tickets to the metaverse or something.
Maybe. Or maybe they'll become even more specialized in live events. You know, the ones that people are really willing to travel for.
That's a good question.
A lot to think about.
Well, on that note, I think that's a wrap on our deep dive into the world of the ticket issuing clerk.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It was fun.
It was really interesting. I learned a lot. And for our listeners out there, next time you're at an event, take a moment to appreciate the person who got you in the door.
Yeah, give them a smile.
They work hard. Until next time, everyone.